Sanibonani Tumelanga Psheni. My name is Ga-Rankuwa and welcome to another episode of GD on Point. Today we speak all things 2026 online admissions process. Seated here with me is the Director of Public Ordinary Schools, Mr. Glenton Williams.
Good morning. Good morning, Veronica.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm good. So let's get straight into it, right? This year marks the 10th year since the inception of the online admissions process, right? How do you feel about it?
As a department, well, this is a big success in terms of our progress from the online application system that we have. I know before this process, it was a very challenging time for parents that have applied to public schools, especially parents that had to either overnight or get to schools early in the morning to try and secure space. But through the online application system, we made it possible for parents to actually make an application to a school from the comfort of their homes or even in their workplace, and a time that is most convenient for them. So that is one of the greatest achievements from the department, as in making sure that to apply to a school is accessible at any time for any parent within Gauteng.
So I'm just curious, why create the online admissions process?
Why? I'll just ask the reason that I've just cited. It was because the challenges that we had. If admissions had to open tomorrow, you'll find already at schools, people are camping outside and there are long queues and people struggling to get into schools. So as a department, with the regulations that have been in place, we made sure that access to education and access to a school is actually transparent and give everybody a fair opportunity to apply to a school. So therefore, that was one of the greatest motivations to ensure that we are online application system.
So would you say that since 2015, has the department had any problems, and how has the department ensured that the same problems that you had, for example, in 2021, we're not facing them in 2026 as well?
Yes. You know, Veronica, every year after the closing or when we get to the end of the previous cycle of applications, we have a review session. And during our review sessions, we look at possible challenges that could have popped up in the system and even from a user's perspective, and we address those challenges. So one of the big challenges that we have year on year is before go live, we have like 30,000 people queuing to make an application. And that bottleneck before 8 o'clock the day of go live is actually a challenge for us. But what we've done as a department is we've increased the capacity to ensure that up to 40,000 users can be on the system simultaneously to ensure a smooth process and submitting of applications.
Yeah. So I just want to find out, you spoke about a review, right? Where exactly does this review happen?
You see, when the review, what we on the system, we have also a survey that's built into the system. Normally where applicants can just spend a few minutes just completing and just share with us the experience that they had in applying to a school. What we also do is our schools, our principals, even our stakeholders like our associations, SGBs, we send out all these surveys to them and just hear what the experiences were on the system. So then we use that and we review the system and ensure that we improve based on what we receive from the surveys.
Yes. So how many learners has the department placed within the placement period over the years?
You know, if you say over the years, rightfully we are in the 10th anniversary.
Yes.
And every year we place around about 360,000 in last year. So that's the number that we have learners that we actually place. And per year.
Okay.
So this number is increasing. So if you had just had to do quick mathematics, 360 times 10, it takes us to 3.6 million of learners over the last 10 years that we've placed in our schools. And every year we see this number is increasing. So the system is working for us. We ensure as we increase, we manage to ensure that each and every learner receive an offer of placement into one of our public schools.
Yes. So can you please walk us through the 5-step processes that parents or guardians need to follow in order to ensure that their application goes swiftly? And not just that, what happens when a parent or guardian misses just one step?
Okay. Thank you for this particular one, because the 5-step process is simple but yet very important. The first step is where we require from the parent or the applicant to populate their information, and that is now the parents' names, address, telephone number. That's in the first step. Very important on that particular step is for the parent to make sure that the cell phone number that they use on that particular page in the first step is a number that will be used throughout the application phase, because that is the number that we will be using to send out all our communication notifications in terms of the progress of the particular application in the phase. And then step 1 also, the parent will be able to create a user password so that it can use as a unique a password that you will have access to when you do this visit the system. Step 2 also is the step where it's required from the parent to populate their address, if they're going to use the home address only, or they can use the home and work address. And this is the particular address is what they're going to use to make an application. But I also need to emphasize that with this particular address, the parent must have the necessary proof of documentation to prove that they do live at that particular address. That's step number 2. Step number 3 is the learner details. So in this step, we just require the information of the learner that the parent is applying for, the name and all the details of that particular learner. So that needs to, and the school that the learner is actually currently in, if the learner is in grade 7 this year applying for grade 8. That's step 3. Step 4 is the application page. Now, I also just want to touch on the applications with the regulations. We know that we have regulations, a 5-step also regulations process, where we place people that is closest, that live closer to the school, especially where the school's feeder zone cover the applicant's address.
Yeah.
So that's how placement starts. So it's very important, and we encourage parents to apply to schools that cover their home addresses within that particular school's feeder zone. So step 4, the applicant, the parent will just make an application to various schools using home address, or if the child has a sibling in the school, they can also use that. And if they uploaded the work address, they can also use make an application to a school.
Yeah.
And then the final step is step 5, and this one is also very critical, is to ensure that all the documents that is needed is submitted within a 7-day period to the school, or now as we've improved the system, we've also made it possible for the parent in their convenient space upload the documents on the system. So all these 5 steps must be followed, and then this will ensure that the school will be able to process and an offer of placement will be issued to the parent. So your second part of your question,
Yes.
what if a parent fails in terms of one step? If you fail and do not comply with any of the steps, then the possibility is great that that particular application will not be processed, and that parent will not be made an offer of placement to any school due to the fact of an incomplete application.
Yes. So you are the director of public ordinary schools, but the department has schools of specialization. So then what happens in the case of a parent trying to apply within an SOS?
Okay. A school of specialization, yes, we've also on our system, we've made the functionality available for a parent to apply to a school of specialization. Now, just slightly from the ordinary school application and an application to a school of specialization, the difference. With a school of specialization, the proof of home address is not as a big requirement for the applicant to a school of specialization, because the child will be subjected to an assessment or a placement test. So very important, if a parent apply to a school of specialization, they need to ensure that they contact the school, they reserve a time slot, to write the assessment test at a school. And because these tests, if the learner passed that particular test, the learner will stand a chance for an offer of placement at that particular school.
Okay, interesting, interesting. Last but not least, when is the application process starting and when does it end? What is the placement period?
Okay. In the next couple of days, the 24th of July 2025, we'll be at 8 o'clock, we will be going live with the application process. Parents have, as from the 24th of July until the 29th of August, to make applications to a school for the learner that will be going to school grade 1 or grade 8 in 2026 next year. So the time frame again is from the 24th of July until the 29th of August. That will be the application phase. If the parent also comply with the 5-step process that I've highlighted previously, then after the application phase, no late applications will be tolerated. So parents need to ensure that they apply during that time frame. And as from the 16th of October, parents can expect an offer of placement being sent to them where they can just accept, and the child's place will be reserved in that particular school for next year. So as from the 16th of October until all learners are placed, because as a department, it is our aim, and it's actually an objective from us, our responsibility to ensure that each and every child that's applied to our public schools is placed for the academic year in 2026.
In the case where parents are struggling with the system, are districts able to help parents?
Okay. In terms of our systems, we are improving, and every year we're improving. We want to make sure that to access the system, it is for everyone. No one is marginalized. So what we've done is we have over 80 decentralized venues set up in the province where parents can just go and actually make an application. And these services are free. We don't charge you anything. It's free. You can even access all our district offices for assistance. Even the head office has also a center set up that will ensure to help parents with applications. But most importantly, if you go to any one of our public schools, they will also assist you in that. So we want to make sure that every parent that needs to apply to school, they have access to the system. They don't need to pay anyone. And yes, most importantly, we don't want any third party to assist, but rather to ensure that your application is valid. We encourage parents to use one of the facilities that I've just mentioned.
All right, thank you, Director. Thank you so much. That was very insightful. And I hope all parents and guardians, even learners, have heard what you have shared with us today.
No, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Well, there you have it. Please ensure that you follow the necessary steps and processes as stated by the Director to ensure that you have a successful application process. Please note that the application period starts on the 24th of July 2025 at 8 a.m. and ends on the 29th of August at midnight. That's it from today. Please follow us on all our social media platforms. Like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, goodbye.